Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar. Warm welcome to each of you to Udaan 2020, presented by National NHRDN Network in association with State Authority of India. If there's anything that the year 2020 has taught us, it is that adversity is often only a facade. Hiding behind is often an opportunity. After 9 successful years of conducting the business leadership quiz by the NHRDN Ranchi chapter, the 10th year was different. We got a chance to move from the in-person mode to the online mode. And along with it came the chance that we were waiting for to give this very coveted, prestigious quiz series a pan-India presence. So here we are after 2 different prelims, elimination rounds, 4 zonal finals, this being the 4th, the South zonal final, which you will see unraveling in the next hour from now. It has been a huge amount of hard work and planning at the back end by the organizing team. Special thanks to SAIL MTI for their unflinching support to the NHRDN Ranchi chapter and all the others who worked tirelessly to bring this to the front. All our sponsors, IOCL, NTPC, GAIL, UPR, NNL, CrowdStrike, IFGL, Sarvesh Refractory, and IILM have stood behind us like a rock, making this event possible. Our gratitude to them. Overall, the fact that we managed to make this entire competition bigger, 350 plus participants from across the country, representing more than 50 organizations. A whole lot of hard work, like I mentioned, 2 prelims, 4 zonal finals, leading up to the grand finale in less than a week from now. There is a whole lot of action that is coming your way very soon. As for the audience, do not despair because you have special audience questions that you will get to answer and win fabulous, exciting prizes. So all you need to do is watch our live stream on YouTube and follow the NHRDN Twitter handle with the hashtag Udaan 2020 when you respond to questions, details of which will be shared by our quizmaster, Mr. Ajay Punia. It's a privilege to welcome Mr. Punia to conduct this quiz. He leads this organization, which is called Cryptic, a noted name in the edutainment space, and you will see him work his magic in the next hour. Over to you, Ajay.
Right. Thank you so very much, Nisha, for that added bit of pressure, which I wasn't hoping for. But hopefully, I'll be able to perform under this pressure. But it's not about me now. It's about the 6 participants who've qualified from the southern region. We'll get to see them in a bit, very shortly. They'll appear on your screen. But right now, on behalf of on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to welcome each one of you as participants, as audience members. You're watching us on various streaming platforms. I had a look at the Twitter of NHRDN as well, and I saw that so many of you are participating in the questions that I'm throwing at you. So it's great. We can all participate live from the comfort of our homes. And it's already December. We started this, the actual 2020 actually started in March. So I'm sure you're all familiar with this cliche of, how we can all get together digitally, online, conduct events, conduct meetings, get some work done. And of course, how can quizzing be left behind? So here we are in the 10th annual edition of Udaan, conducting this quiz this year till the 9th edition. Till last year, we were conducting this quiz in a in an offline space in Ranchi in the MTI Center of SAIL. This year we were, however, in a sense, lucky enough because of the situation that we're in to be able to conduct this quiz online, expand the wings, expand the horizon of this program, reach out to all the different zones and not just restrict ourselves to predominantly Eastern heavy participation that we would generally get. There were participants from other zones as well, but not as much as we've now had, with 350 of you registering to play in the preliminary rounds, and out of which we only selected 24 in the zonal rounds, and we've done 3 zonal rounds already, and now here we are with our final zonal round, looking forward to the 2 participants from the South Zone who will qualify, representing the South Zone in the national final that will be held in a few days from now. Right. But before we get there, let me quickly display my screen, which is where all the questions will appear, and all these participants who we'll shortly meet, that's where they will be giving their answers after taking a look at the questions on the screen. Right, so before we get there, before we meet our finalists, as Nisha ma'am just said, we're also thankful to all our sponsors who made this program possible and successful till now. Indian Oil, CrowdStrike, NTPC, GAIL, IFGL, UPRR, NL, Sarvesh Factory, and of course, our academic partner, IILM. So thank you to each one of you for making this event possible. Without your support, it's an event that generally used to take place in the month of June, but we couldn't organize it then. And now we're here thanks to all these sponsors who stood behind us and made this event possible. So heartfelt thank you to each one of you. And now is the time for the big reveal, for us to meet our finalists, starting with the first finalist, Naveen Kumar from Sai Mitra Constructions. Right, congratulations, Naveen, for qualifying into the South Zone final. We move on to our second finalist, is Theo Thomas from Ernst & Young. Theo, if you can come online. Right. All right, welcome. As participant number 3 is Cherian Varghese from Indian Oil. Welcome, Cherian. As participant number 4 is Hirak Roy from Kosovo. Congratulations for qualifying. As participant number 5, KM Prashant from NTPC Limited. And finally, completing the lineup from Novartis, Abhishek Kumar. Abhishek, if you can come online. Right, so very strong contingent of 6 teams, 6 participants representing 6 different organizations. 2 of those organizations, as we just saw a little while back, have already established their presence in the national final. That's NTPC colleagues of Mr. KM Prashant and Theo Thomas. NTPC, NY, both mark their presence in the final. Will we have a repeat performance, or will we have somebody else? We'll find out over a course of 4 rounds. One by one, we'll get to meet each of these rounds, and that's when all the questions will start flowing. But before that happens, I thought that I could give you a piece of advice about how you can win this quiz. This is just from a Quizmaster's personal note, a personal suggestion. So I think this is an appropriate strategy for you to follow. If, however, you decide against following this strategy, then I'm not too sure if your ticket to the national final is confirmed. Bad jokes aside, something for the audience as well. So audience, there are certain questions to all of you who've joined in from on various live streaming platforms. There are certain rules that you also have to follow, which is please head over to Twitter. Please smash that follow button at NHRDN's @NHRDN on Twitter. I will be asking questions after the end of every round, so please listen to them carefully. Once the audience questions, once I've asked the audience questions at the very same time, they will also be made live They will be also tweeted from the same account. So you have to give your response as a reply to the very same tweet along with the hashtag Udaan2020. Please remember hashtag Udaan2020 along with your answer, and your job is done. Hit submit or hit tweet, whatever that is, and just wait with bated breath till the results are announced and what you get to win, some Amazon gift vouchers. So that's for the audience. Please wait for it. After the end of every round, I will be asking these audience questions. But for the moment, we are ready to begin our quiz with our finalists here, the 6 smartest participants from the South Zone. This is called crossword. There are 6 questions in this crossword. 20 seconds is what you have. The default score on the buzzer, +5, -5. But if you intend to double, you have to tell me before your answer that you're interested in doubling. And you get +10 if you're right, -10 if you are wrong. Okay, so this is the crossword that you have to solve. We'll go in order. We'll start with 1 down. It's a 5-letter answer that I'm seeking. And at all times, as I just announced a little while back, I need to see you holding your smartphone on the screen with 1 hand, right? So I would like to believe you're using your non-writing hand because you'd like to keep your other hand, the writing hand, free for whatever purpose you want to use it for. Right, so we'll start. First question, 1 down is a 5-letter answer. I'll give you a visual. You can look at the visual, give me the answer, or wait for the entire text to appear. All right, here is question number 1, South Zone final on your screen now. That's a sculpture there. Now here is my question. This statue in Antwerp explains the origins of the name of the city. X once killed a giant, Druon Antigone, who asked money from people who wanted to pass the bridge over the river. When they did not pay, he cut off their hand and threw it in the river. Because of this, X cut the hand of the giant and threw it into the river. As a direct reply, Antwerp thus translates to cutting of hands. Thus, what first ever in India does this character lend his name? Mythological origin, first ever in India. Nobody going for it on the buzzer. There's 7 seconds that are left. 5-letter answer. 2 seconds. And that's about it. Nobody showing any interest on the buzzer. The right answer is the first ever industrial robot called Silvius Bravo from Rome. So this is the Tata Bravo. The first ever industrial robot in India is basically hands, and which is where you get the term Bravo from. So this was the Tata Bravo that I was looking for. This is the mythological legend that lends its name to the Tata Enterprise Bravo. Nobody opening, nobody answering on this one. So that's okay. No negatives, no positives either. But we move on to 2 across. It's a 5-letter answer with the last letter as R. Last letter is revealed, and that is R. It's a 5-letter answer. Your question on your screen, I'll give you the visual first, and then I'll ask the question. Here's your question. It says latent lava by Zobix or L2. Naveen has already gone for it on the buzzer. Naveen, 5-letter answer that ends with R is?
Quicker.
And why would you say that?
Pranay Cholet is behind this.
Which startup CEO and founder in his early days created an interactive video game, Latent Lava, with this plot? A computer-based feature film, a group of highly trained mavericks known as Latent Lava set out to foil a terrorist group intent on blowing up a school in the heart of a major metropolis. It is indeed Pranay Chule of Quicker. Absolutely, that's the answer that I was looking for, Naveen. Although you are happy about the fact that you've answered this, but I'm guessing with the confidence that you displayed, you might regret the fact that you didn't double. You had an option.
Oh, I told double, right? Before answering?
No.
I didn't hear.
Nobody. Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. You doubled.
I told double and then I told quicker.
No.
Maybe you were muted. So I'm sorry about it. You have to have a good hand-eye coordination with that.
But if possible, can you recheck in
Yeah. I'm very clear about it. You did not double. The moment you gave quicker, the first thing that came on my mind was, oh my God, he hasn't doubled.
All right.
Even I was thinking he should have.
Yeah, so there is some consensus coming from other participants as well. So
just take your time and just double. It's fine. No hurry.
yeah, so you wanted to say something, Theo?
No, I'm just saying, I'm saying take your time and double because I have also done this thing, answer and double. Right.
Healthy competitive spirit being displayed by Theo there, trying to remind other participants. So that's great. But Naveen, if you're muting yourself repeatedly, then you have to ensure that your hand-eye coordination or hand-mouth coordination works better than this, right? So that's a +5 only, Naveen. Although lots of questions coming, I'm sure there's a long way to go. We'll move on to question number 3, 5 points there to Naveen opening the account from Saimitra. This is 3 across. The last letter is revealed. It's an 8-letter answer. The last letter is B. Here's your question. First, the visual. Naveen again. Yes, Naveen.
Okay, fine. They won the they won the Pritzker Prize. These people, and they. Okay, fine. I just wanted Pritzker, but I realized it's ending with B. Okay.
And you haven't doubled, so that's okay. So it's a -5. Yeah. All right. Here's your question. In the interest of everybody else, Naveen, you can't press the buzzer again. As per the founder, the name of which British feminist magazine came from when she was having coke at a Chinese restaurant with her partner, who suggested the name as it was a clever pun around the biblical story of the creation of Eve. 5 and 3, 2-word answer. A British feminist magazine, a biblical story of the creation of Eve. Cherian Varghese from Indian Oil.
I'm guessing it's Adam's Rib.
Adam's Rib. I'm looking for the British feminist magazine. Your answer is Adam's Rib?
Yeah, that's my guess.
I can't give that to you because this is Spare Rib. You got the story right, but I was looking for the name of the magazine specifically. It comes from Adam's Spare Rib, but the name of the magazine is Spare Rib. I needed that. Can't give points to you there, Cherian. In fact, I'll have to take points away from you. That's a -5. So 2 of you getting a negative on this one. This is the magazine Spare Rib. Cherian sort of described the biblical story, came from Adam's Spare Rib, but the name wasn't Adam's Rib, it was Spare Rib. Okay, we move on to question number 4, that's 4 down, starts with the letter E, 8 letters. Okay, you can't see 4 there because it's hidden by Spare E there, right? So 8 letters, starts with the letter E. Take a look at the visual. Here's your question. Somebody's compensation plan as per market cap tranches. This is Theo who's gone for it on the buzzer. Theo, yes, your answer.
This is Elon Musk.
And so what does this mean?
It's basically his compensation is how his, as per the market cap of Tesla, how much he gets.
At 55 billion, this 12-step compensation package is the largest in the world.
I forgot to double. It's fine.
Whose compensation package is this? Elon Musk. Theo, you have to keep that in mind. While you're trying to help out others, you have to keep your own advice with yourself, right? Practice what you preach, Theo. Anyway, still 5 points. And you're in tentative lead, at least. There's some heart from that. The fact that you're in an early lead right now, you're at 5 points. Nobody else is at the same score. So this is indeed Elon Musk. This is a compensation package attached to the market cap of Tesla. Just today, Tesla has checked into S&P 500 and must have gone another 50% up on day one. I'm not sure, I didn't check. But anyway, we move on to our next question. That's number 5. 2 questions remain. But before that, let's take a look at what the crossword is going to give us. 5 across, 9-letter answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9-letter answer. And the 5th letter is N. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Here is your question, slightly long text-based question, so read it carefully. During the Montreal Olympics, George Cohon, CEO of this company's Canadian subsidiary, which is the company is what I'm looking for, met Soviet Union officials to hatch a plan that came to fruition in January 1990. It was so successful that on day one, 30,000 customers were catered to, which bettered the single-day previous record held by Budapest at 9,000. What then the world's largest was this? The crowds only started reducing when President Boris Yeltsin sort of opened the second one. Naveen.
Double?
You're doubling. Yes, Naveen.
McDonald's.
McDonald's is absolutely correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Indeed, this is McDonald's. So the first day in Moscow, there were 30,000 people who lined up outside the McDonald's, and the lines only started shortening when the second one opened up. Right, so that's a plus 10 to you. Naveen, couple of others were interested as well, but since Naveen got it right, he gets plus 10, and now he's moved on ahead into the lead. We move on to our final question of this round, following which will be the audience question. So audience, please get ready. 5, 6, 7 letter answer with the 6th letter as U. Look at the visual. See if you can get the answer from there. 2 words, 4 and 3. Right, here's your question. These are HMS Britannia and HMS Dreadnought. They can both be seen in the old logo of which brand that now belongs to ITC? First on the buzzer is Naveen again. Naveen?
Okay, double.
Okay.
Navy cut.
Is correct. That's the answer. This is indeed Navy cut. This is indeed Navy cut by ITC. You could see their logo. You can see the ships in their earlier logo. Not anymore, of course. These days, you don't have enough space to have a lot of creatives on secret packaging. So that's the answer that I was looking for. Indeed, it is Navy cut. That's another 10-pointer to Naveen. A somewhat successful round for him. He's currently leading after the first round with a score of 20. Tio following at 5. 3 of you at 0. Hirak, Prashant and Abhishek, and Cherian at -5. Long way to go still. But before we move on to our next round, here's an audience question. Audience, look at this question. There's a visual accompanying this question. So look at the visual. I'll ask the question, head over to Twitter, give your answer there, and then come back and we'll continue. All right, here's the question for the audience. The first cucciolos, meaning puppy in Italian, were available to be mounted on standard bicycles by the buyer. However, the company soon bought the engines in bulk and offered complete motorized bicycle units for sale. Which company am I speaking of? There's an accompanying visual. You have to tell me which company am I speaking of. So they then bought these engines and then started building motorcycles by themselves. A huge name globally in terms of motorcycles. Which company is this? That's the question to the audience. While you answer that on Twitter, I'll quickly explain the rules of round number 2 to our participants here. Right, so round number 2 is called Bid Wars, personal tribute to the economics Nobel of this year, which was all about auctions. In this round also, you will auction for how many points you want to play the question. You can basically auction for double the points. The default scoring is +5, -5 on the buzzer. But if you're really comfortable with your knowledge of what's displayed in front of you on screen, you can bid for it by hitting the buzzer. And then when the question appears, you can answer for +10 and a -10 if you are wrong and some other bidder after you presses the buzzer and gives, some other bidder after you gives the answer. However, if none of the bidders answers, then the non-bidders get to answer on the buzzer for +5 and -5. Right, so perhaps you've seen this in the previous zonal final, so you're pretty familiar with how it works. One by one, we'll go through all the bids and I'll give you 15 seconds for that. I won't give you a lot of clues. I'll just tell you what I'm looking for and I'll give you the accompanying images. Here is...
I think I've gone offline on this one.
On the buzzer, just press the buzzer once. I'll confirm. Are you pressing it?
Just a second, I'm just logging in.
Okay. Don't speak out the buzzer code, please. It's there in your chat, so you can see from there.
Yeah, I have come in. I'll buzz.
Yeah, please. Cool. All right, it's working fine. Okay, so we'll start. First bid, common to all of you. Please show me your intent for 10 points. Forbes list of powerful women. That's not a typo. Okay, Forbes list of powerful women. 5 seconds. You can press the buzzer and show your intent that you're interested. Okay, so 3 of you showed interest. Cherian to go first, then Naveen, and then Prashant. In that order, the Hirak, Abhishek, and Tio, you can still press the buzzer when the question appears, but you're playing for +5, -5. Cherian, this is a question for you. Before she became president of her current organization last year, she featured regularly in the top 10 of Forbes list of most powerful women, but never at the top, discounting Angela Merkel because that's like her permanent home, like first position in Forbes most powerful women. In the last 2 years, this person that I'm looking for has ranked number 2 since she took over the post. Who?
I'm guessing this is Kristalina Georgieva of the world.
Kristalina Georgieva passes to Naveen.
My guess is Janet Yellen.
Passes to Prashant.
My guess is Ursula Leyen, the European Central Bank.
All right, Naveen and Cherian, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Neither one of you gets a negative. Abhishek, too late on the buzzer. Tio, please unmute.
Is this Christine Lagarde?
Is this Christine Lagarde? Why would you say Christine Lagarde?
Because she's powerful and World Bank or something.
And so who are these 3 men that I'm speaking of?
Probably former heads.
Of most powerful women list.
No, I'm not going to say the wrong answer. I'm just saying Christine Lagarde, and I think it's World Bank or IMF.
All right, this is actually Christine Lagarde, so that is correct, Tio. That's a +5 to you. And Christine Lagarde is now the president of ECB. These are the 3 former ECB presidents, starting with Wim Duisenberg. In the middle is Jean-Claude Trichet, and the third one is Mario Draghi. Right, so that's the answer that I was looking for. Number 4 is Christine Lagarde. She generally featured in the top 10 somewhere, not on the podium, but discounting Angela Merkel. In the last 2 years, she's topped that list. Angela Merkel doesn't count because that's her home. She always is on the top of the list. Good answer there, Tio. That's a +5 and nothing to all the other 3 people on the buzzer. Kristalina Georgieva, which Cherian said, has taken over as the IMF MD in place of Lagarde. Lagarde has moved on to ECB. Kristalina Georgieva has taken over as IMF MD, but she doesn't feature in the top 10. Anyway, so that's a +5 to Tio. Good answer. Moving on to the next question for the bid. No negatives to anybody else. Here is number 2. I'm looking for the building. And it says June 26, 1930 and July 7, 1930. Two seconds and up. So 4 of you have shown intent on the buzzer. Naveen, Cherian, Abhishek, and Hirak. We'll start with Naveen. Naveen, your question. The image shows how a certain building grew at the pace of 4.5 floors a week, thus leading to completion in 410 days. Which building is this?
Okay, my guess is Empire State Building.
Your guess is Empire State Building. That is correct. That's the answer, Naveen. Good answer. That's a +10. Well done. Because you bid, that's why you get 10, as opposed to the previous answer that Tio gave because he did not bid earlier. So that 10 points to Naveen. Continuing to build on your lead. Currently, you're leading with a score of 30. Tio, you're on 10, and then there is some distance between you and the rest. We move on to number 3. What recent assignment associated with this company? It says Ristrata, the world's first integrated safety, security, and mobility operating system. 2 seconds, and that's about it. Cherian, Prashant, and Hirak in that order, starting with Cherian. Cherian, your question.
They were.
The UK-based.
Go ahead.
Okay, your question, Cherian. You were the first on the buzzer. Yeah. This UK-based firm was in the news throughout September to November 2020 for what specific task that they were assigned with in the Middle East and closely watched by us in India.
They were tasked with creating the bio bubble in which the players were kept for the IPL.
Is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Good answer there, Cherian. Absolutely. So these were the. So this was the company that was responsible for creating the bio bubble for the IPL. Before that, they did it successfully in the England West Indies test. I mean, successfully with a fair bit of leverage that I'm giving to them, and I'm looking at Jofra Archer. But anyway, so they did the same thing, and then they were hired for the IPL in the Middle East. Absolutely good answer there, Cherian. That's a plus 10 to you. Very good. You've erased negatives on the scoreboard in front of your name, so that's good. We move on to question number 4. From India. So there's a image that I've given. What should be here in this image from India? It says India 1736.
Your counter isn't working.
Right, so 7 seconds. 2 of you have gone for it on the buzzer. That's Naveen and Hirak. All right, and just in time, so did Cherian. All right, question to Naveen. This is a cropped bit from a map that lists the oldest companies from every country in the world. Which business group or company joins the list from India?
Wadia Group.
The Wadia Group, founded in 1736, is absolutely correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Good answer there, Naveen. Another 10-pointer in your name. Well done. It is indeed the Wadia Group. So that's the oldest company from India, still alive. And it's an image that lists all the other companies from Bhutan, Tashi Group, 1959, Nepal Bank Limited, 1937, and so on. 3 questions remain. We move on to question number 5. A 4-square badge. I hope you haven't forgotten about 4-square. Anyway, so this is a 4-square badge. 2 of you have gone for it. Cherian and Prashant. We'll start with Cherian. Cherian, your question. 4-square lets you unlock punny badges for checking into various establishments. Example, check-in at libraries gets a bookworm badge, at diners a greasy spoon badge. What stupid sounding badge do you get if you check in at least 10 Indian restaurants? The name is shared by a Pune-based delivery kitchen and a few Indian restaurants in US. What stupid sounding badge? Nobody on the buzzer. Cherian, 5 seconds. I need an answer.
Ullu tikki.
Ullu tikki. Okay. Right. I wonder how that will taste. Right. Prashant. I need an answer. Nothing. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Closing. Passes. Okay. Passes to Hirak. On the buzzer, +5, -5.
Okay, this is a guess. I believe this shows the picture of Taj Mahal. So you don't check in into a Taj Mahal. So that I believe this answer should be Taj Mahal.
The answer is Taj Mahal as the stupid sounding badge.
Yeah, you get into it. I mean, why you want to get in check in inside? It's a monument after all.
Okay. I mean, pretty twisted concept there, Hirak. That's a -5 to you. Not Taj Mahal, not Ullu Tikki, and I don't know what Prashant said, but didn't sound right. The right answer is nonsense. This is nonsense. I can't do anything about the fact that there is a Taj Mahal, but that's what the badge is. I didn't create it. You can reach out to Foursquare and tell them. You can check into Foursquare's headquarters and then tell them what does this even mean. You got a negative for that, Hirak, but others don't get anything. So this is nonsense, right? That's what I was looking for. We move on to question number 6.
Can you reset the buzzer? Can you reset the buzzer?
Yeah. For which you have to bid first. So here is number 6. The gun. I'm looking for the name of the gun. All right, 3 seconds. Quite a few of you have shown interest. All of you have shown interest. Great. So all of you are bidding for this. All right. So we'll start with Hirak first, then Abhishek, then Naveen, Cherian, Tio, and Prashant in that order. Hirak, this is a question for you. Please unmute.
Yeah, you can go to the question.
Yes. Meaning fearless, this gun was made in 2014 by Kanpur Ordnance Factory, keeping in mind the female buyers following a horrific incident in Delhi. Please name the gun. Hirak. Okay, Hirak, I need an answer.
Hello?
Hirak? Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, your answer
Yeah,
is?
it is Nirbhik. Nirbhik.
Is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. This is indeed Nirbhik following
Hello.
the Nirbhaya incident. Absolutely good answer
Yes.
there. Hirak, that's a +10 to you. Very good. Right, so negatives against your name have been written off. Well done. You're now on 5 points, but tied with Cherian. But there's still a long way to go before you arrive at the score of the leaders. Final question, number 7, common to all of you on your screen. Please bid for it. Employee outfit designers. Three seconds. Right. So Naveen, Cherian, Abhishek, Prashant, and Hirak in that order. Naveen, question for you. Which Indian company's logo is essentially 20 dots connecting and forming the icon of its service? Rajesh Pratap Singh and Ambika Pillai designed the chic look of the employees.
The Indigo
Is correct. That's the answer. This is indeed the Indigo Airlines. Absolutely. A wonderful round for Naveen. Got 3 correct answers with 10 points apiece. We'll take a look at the scores. This is the end of round 2. But before we do that, here's an audience question. All right, audience. This is a question for you. Listen to this carefully. In 2017, when a startup founder was asked about the growing capital needs of his organization, he spewed a Bollywood dialogue from 1970s, which in a sense perfectly fit how he was going to raise capital and why he did not need to worry. Who is this startup founder and what did he say? I repeat, a startup founder, when asked about how will he raise money, so he gave a Bollywood 1970s Bollywood dialogue. So my question is, who's the startup founder and what dialogue did he narrate or mouth as a result of this question? While you answer that question on Twitter, look for this same tweet with the very same question. Give your answer as a reply in the comment section to this tweet. And while you do that, we'll take a little break for scores. When you come back, we'll start with the scores, and then we continue with rounds 3 and round 4. Just give me a moment. Right. I hope all of you have published your answers or responded with your answers in the very same tweet. Like I said, please visit Twitter and give your answer there under the very same tweet, which has the question that I just asked to all of you. Right. Scores after the end of 2 rounds. This is what the scoreboard looks like. Naveen currently leading with a score of 50 points. Theo trying to chase him down, but still some distance away at 10. Cherian at 5, Hirak at 5, Prashant from NTPC and Abhishek from Novartis. Both of you still to open your account halfway into this quiz. We move on to the second half of this quiz. This is round number 3. Now, this round is called Satyanveshi, just like Byomkesh, who like to call himself a truth seeker. I'm not Byomkesh. You have to be Byomkesh. You have to search for truth because I'm going to repeatedly lie 6 times. Right? Catch my lie, correct me for +10, -5 on the buzzer. I'll be showing you 6 statements. All of them are incorrect. They're false in some way or ways. There could be 2-3 things that are incorrect about them. Your job is to correct them and take 10 points if you're right. Not just identify what is incorrect, but also tell me how will you make the statement correct, right? You have to do both the tasks to get 10 points from me. Otherwise, you get a -5 and I move on to the next person on the buzzer. All right. Let's start. Cherian, if I can see your phone. Okay. One hand, Cherian, would be good. All right. Okay, fine. That's fine, Cherian. All right. So here is question number 1 or statement number 1. This video was released in August 2020 to invite people to join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 1984. This was PUBG fighting Google's monopoly. First on the buzzer is Theo. Theo?
It's actually by Fortnite, not PUBG. It's Fortnite fighting Apple. It's Fortnite, not PUBG.
That's it? If I replace PUBG
So
with Fortnite,
no. So basically, they are Fortnite is fighting against the Apple Store.
Okay. So if I replace PUBG with
Fortnite,
and Google with
Apple
is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. So this is Epic Games, which is behind Fortnite. They were appealing against App Store or Apple for blocking Fortnite. So this is, we're all well aware of what it alludes to. Apple came out with a very similar looking ad against Microsoft. They called it 1984, referring to 1984 George Orwell. They called it 1980 Fortnite, right? So join the fight to stop 2020 becoming 1984. Good answer there, Theo. Well done. That gets you 10 points. Keep the chase alive. You're on 20. Naveen is on 50, while others are some distance behind you. We move on to number 2. In asterisks in Tibet, a plane crashes in the Himalayas. The debris showed the logo of Singapore Airlines, who ironically provided research material and photos to the creators. The airline staff reached out to the writers, who then created another airline, Sari Airways. Prashant. Prashant, I need an answer. Please unmute.
It's not Singapore Airlines, it is Nepal Airways.
Nepal Airways. All right. And that's about it. That's a -5 to Prashant. And nobody else went for it on the buzzer. So just a -5 to Prashant, and that's about it. Right. Anybody wants to try and correct this for no points?
AT Airways from Nepal?
No.
This is Air India.
Okay. And?
This is basically Air India's was there because I'm seeing VTJRD. So VT is for Air India.
Well spotted there, Hirak. Absolutely. Good. So this is Air India, but still you're not completely correct.
That's all I know.
Okay, so Asterix is the Gauls from, I don't know what, BC, but this is not Asterix in Tibet. This is Tintin in Tibet, right? So this had to be Tintin, right? So Tintin in Tibet and Air India. You see VT, which is perfectly spotted, Victor Tango. This is for Indian Airlines. Good answer there. -5 to Prashant. for saying Nepal Airlines. I think that's what you said, something to do with Nepal. That was incorrect. I was looking for Air India and also Tintin and Tibet. Okay, moving on to number 3. After losing 165 billion, not a typo, billion with a B, in one quarter earlier this year, the world's largest pension fund, GPIF, is now crowdsourcing ideas as to how to deal with the global more money today, or as some people call it, monetary theory, and the low interest rates. Whoever's idea is selected will get a commission from the asset proposed. Prashant again. Prashant, please unmute and answer.
Not GBIF, it is the Norway fund.
All right, that's a -5, Prashant. 5 seconds for others on the buzzer. That's about it. It's a -5. It's not Norwegian fund. The Norwegian fund that you're speaking of is the sovereign fund, which is the world's largest. I did not speak of a sovereign fund. I only spoke of the pension fund. Right? This is GPI from Japan. Abhishek, you want to say something, but you won't get any points because you're too late. I mean, if you want to give the answer, that's fine, but no points.
It's a Canada pension fund, I believe.
No, not the Canadian pension fund. This is the Japanese pension fund. But the answer that I was looking for is they won't pay anything for it. That's as simple as that. There's no commission that nobody's getting. There's not going to pay anything. The world's largest pension fund is crowdsourcing ideas without anything in return, right? That's what I was looking for, which is pretty ironic. Perhaps they want to not pay because they've lost $165 billion this year. Could be that, but it's pretty ironic being the largest pension fund and you decide to not pay anything for it. So no points to -5 to Prashant and no points to anybody else. We move on to number 4. By getting a commercial pilot license in 1956, Sarla Thakral was the first Indian woman to possess it. Please correct me. I'm wrong about something here. Please spot it and tell me how can I be right. 3 seconds remaining. That's about it. Time's up. So Sarla Thakral does have certain association with aviation, and Sarla Thakral was the first woman to hold an aviation license from India. But the first person to hold commercial pilot license was the lady in picture that you see here, and that's Durba Banerjee. Right, that's what I was looking for. This is Durba Banerjee, the first female commercial pilot license holder. Sarla Thakral was the first aviation license, not commercial license. Nobody going for it, nobody gets any points. Turning out to be a little too difficult, these questions. But I'm sure you'll start scoring points when I display question number 5 on screen. Now, made with gold, this was a unit of currency issued by Indian dynasties as well as the British and the Dutch. It was subdivided into 42 funams and circulated alongside the rupee, where 12 funams equaled 1 rupee. The French version of the currency was subdivided into 26 funams or fanon. Thus, because of its tiered nature, the currency was called stupa. Cherian on the buzzer. Please unmute and answer.
Not funams, but it is Anna.
Not funams, but Anna. Passes to Hirak.
It is not funums, but I'm seeing it is some pagoda kind of things. So I will go with the pagoda.
You will go with pagoda because you see pagoda kind of things instead of a stupa is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Good answer there, Hirak. Absolutely. Because of the tiered nature, it was, and you know what pagoda, I mean, you can see pagoda on screen, so you know what pagodas look like. They have tiered nature. So this currency wasn't called stupa, but was called pagoda. Absolutely. Good answer there, Hirak. That's a +10 to you. Very good. You move on to 3rd place at 15, just 5 points behind Tio. Good answer there. So it is pagoda. And if I'm not wrong, 16 Anna was a rupee and not 12 Anna. So Cherian, you're 4 short. Okay. We move on to final question of this round, number 6. MTR was started as a restaurant in Bangalore in 1924 by the Maya brothers serving Udupi Brahmin cuisine. However, they were forced into shutting shop and thus pivoting to selling instant food mixes, which is what makes them really famous and perhaps which is why you know them, due to the 1991 new economic policy, the LPG of India, that led to increased competition. Abhishek, finally we'll get to hear from you in this quiz. Yes.
I think it was it was basically a shortage of it was not a new economic policy.
Okay.
I think it was related to the Indira Gandhi emergency or something, because of which it started.
Is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. It's because of the emergencies and because they were really struggling to get their goods from various places. They were not able to procure their raw materials, so which is why they decided to migrate into instant food mixes. Good answer there, Abhishek. That gets you to 10 points. Even an answer as late as this still keeps you in good stead. You're at 10, Prashant at -10, Hirak at 15, Cherian at 0, Tio second place at 20, and Naveen still maintaining his lead even without a single answer in this round at 50. Right, before we move on to our final round, here's a question to the audience, because this is the end of round number 3. Question to the audience. Listen to this carefully, head over to Twitter, reply to the very same question that you find there as a tweet and give your answer there. If you're the fastest, you'll get Amazon vouchers. Here's your question. Narayan Meghji Lokhande was a prominent colleague of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. He is considered to be the father of what in India? Narayan Meghaji Lokhande, a prominent colleague of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, considered to be the father of what in India? Right, so quickly head to Twitter, give your answer on the very same tweet which has this question, and come back as we continue with our 4th round. While you come back, I will tell you the rules of the final round in the interest of all the participants that we have here in the Southern Zonal Final. Right, this is your round. It's called Buzz Master. There are 7 questions on the buzzer. You get 20 seconds per question. You won't see a full question. You only see visuals on screen. There is sequential buzzer scoring. First gets 10, second gets 8, third gets 6, fourth gets 4, and the last, the 5th one gets 2. There's a flat -5. The moment you hit the buzzer, I will stop reading the question because you're indicating that you know the answer already. So give me your answer and you get points if you're right. But if you're wrong, you get a -5. And if there's nobody else on the buzzer, I continue reading the question in the interest of somebody else who can perhaps hit the buzzer. Right? If there are any doubts, you can let me know.
You will read out the questions, right?
I will read out the question. They will not appear on screen.
And you'll stop at the first buzzer. Simple.
Say that again.
You'll stop reading at the first buzzer.
Yeah, I stop reading at the first buzzer. I wait for I seek the answer. If the answer is wrong, then I continue reading for the others.
Okay.
There is nobody else on the buzzer. But if there was somebody else on the buzzer, I immediately move to that second person. All right, here is my first question. I'm looking for the name of 2 organizations. Okay, I'm looking for the name of 2 organizations that were created here. Okay, named the Gold Room. Right, Naveen has already gone for it. Yes, Naveen.
This is the IMF and the World Bank.
And what was my question?
So this is the room where they were created, the Bretton Woods Conference, the Bretton Woods.
Named the Gold Room. This hotel room was where United Nations delegates got together, forming which 2 organizations? It's World Bank and IMF, and originally the conference was the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, which now we remember as Bretton Woods Conference. Good answer there, Naveen. Incidentally, they decided to peg the global currency as US dollar, all the currencies as US dollar, which was further pegged with gold. And this room was also called gold room, right? So good answer. It was originally called IBRD, which became World Bank. So that's fine. World Bank and IMF. Absolutely. Good answer there, Naveen. That's a plus 10 to you. You move on to 60 with 6 questions to go. We move on to number 2 now. A Leo Burnett team comprising of Nima Namchu and Nitin Berry were working on a Reebok campaign in 1996-97. They came up, Prashant.
I think they came up with the nickname of Rahul Dravid, the wall.
Okay. My question, they came up with 3 nicknames. Assassin and Viper were 2 of the nicknames, but these 2 couldn't sustain and were forgotten, likely because the third really lived up to the metaphor associated with the nickname. What nickname and for whom? And Mr. Prashant, would you like to tell me where would one find this?
I think probably in Bangalore school where he studied, St. Joseph School.
Not the Bangalore school, but the Bangalore stadium, the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Right? So at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, this is indeed Rahul Dravid, the wall. It was created as part of a campaign where Assassin and Viper were also there. Assassin was Azhar and Viper was Kumble. Perhaps we didn't latch on with that because for whatever reason, because I think they tried to give him Kumble a name for a snake, which is Viper, but essentially most of the 600 wickets that Kumble took was because his ball would never spin, and every time players would play for spin. Bad jokes aside, we'll move on to question number 3. Here is question 3, common to all of you, plus 10, minus 5. An excerpt from a 1986 profile of the creator of a widely successful product describing its unlikely success. Sherian.
I'll say this is the Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. Okay, my question. So the excerpt goes, it was put out by socialist bureaucrats who didn't know how to sell it in the first place and who then made a grand mess of things when it became popular anyway. It also violated the industry standards. It didn't talk, whistle, cry, shoot, change clothes, appear in a movie or require batteries. Coming from Hungary behind the socialistic wall, absolutely, this is indeed Erno Rubik and Rubik's Cube. Good answer there, Cherian. That's a plus 10. Well done. Now the fight for the second place at least is really heating up. Hirak on 15, Cherian and Abhishek both on 10, Prashant on 0, and Tio, who everybody's trying to chase down, is currently at 20. Remember, top 2 qualify. Naveen, in a sense, can still be chased down for a tight first spot. So perhaps Naveen would still like to play, but maybe he'd like to be a little cautious about it. We'll see. Okay, here is number 4 out of 7. Tell me, why were they created? Take a good look. They're not just any US dollar notes. During the Second World War, the US printed these notes with a Hawaii overprint, as you can see. They have the Hawaii overprint. Hirak.
Yeah, this is because they feared an invasion by Japan. So this was to be used by the resistance people who would stay behind and fight against Japanese occupation.
Okay, I'll continue. The US printed these notes with Hawaii overprint in an attempt to render them worthless, although the need for that never occurred. Why such an ironic condition? Because you spoke of Japan and their occupation, I'll give you points for that. The reason is because they believe that should Japan invade Hawaii post the Pearl Harbor attack, these notes will mean nothing. right? So which is why they had the Hawaii overprint. So it was basically, should Japan invade Hawaii? That's a brilliant answer, Hirak. And what that means is you move ahead to second place with a score of 25, but you cannot feel comfortable one bit at all, because Theo, who you've just overtaken, is just 5 points behind you. He's at 20, right? 3 questions remain, and perhaps it is safe to assume that Naveen will qualify in the national final, and maybe Naveen would just like to keep the phone aside and witness the action. All right, Naveen joins in. Thank you, Naveen. Naveen joins in as a spectator. All right, well done, Naveen. We'll say great things about you, but later. All right. Here is question number 5, common to all of you. What concept was coined by this person? That's what I'm looking for. He first suggested this concept while working on a complex NASA communication system, being fed up with endless Prashant.
It's just a wild guess. Working from home concept?
My question. Being fed up with endless and notorious traffic congestion in Los Angeles where he lived, he suggested this idea as a solution for the increasing air pollution and the emerging oil and gas crisis in this book that he co-authored. What now ubiquitous concept is this? Your answer is work from home, which is absolutely correct. We're all quizzing from home. Good answer there, Prashant. That's a plus 10 to you. You move on to 10 points. Which may get you to qualify provided you're not provided you get both the upcoming answers, both the upcoming questions is correct, right? So now Prashant's at 10, Abhishek's at 10, Cheryan's at 10, Hirak at 25, Theo at 20, and of course Naveen is sitting pretty atop his own Empire State Building. We'll get to that later. Right, here is question number 6. This is a range of beard oil, perfume, and beard wash by Beardo. Prashant, perhaps due to scoreboard pressure. Yes, I need an answer, Prashant. Please unmute.
Beardo is by Dabur. It's a parent company, Dabur, coming out.
That's a -5 to Prashant. Nobody on the buzzer, so I'll continue. Range of beard oil, perfume, and beard wash by Beardo. I'll give you 5 seconds. What is it called? Range of beard oil, perfume, and beard wash by Beardo. What is it called? Take a good look at the visual. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Abhishek.
Godfather.
Why would you say that?
It's a new brand which has a new name which has come for the Beardo. So that's it. Looks like the bow tie signifies that. That's why I said.
Is correct. Absolutely, that's the answer. This is the Godfather range of beard cosmetics, if that's a term. Right, good answer there. Abhishek, it is indeed Godfather. You can see the bow tie. So this is a Godfather range. Plus 10 to you. And what that means is, Abhishek, you've done yourself a huge favor. You move on to 20, just 5 points behind the current second place. That's Hirak at 25. Tied with Theo at 20, Abhishek and Theo tied at 20, Cheryan at 10, and Prashant at 5. Both of you have fallen behind. So we will move on to our final question. Perhaps Prashant may not want to attempt this because he cannot impact this quiz in any way. And Cheryan, for you to really work this in your favor, you cannot be the first on the buzzer, because if you just be the first person on the buzzer, you can only move to 20 and that's about it. Your best guess or your hope is that others go before you on the buzzer, collect negatives, and then you get a chance. But I don't know if that will happen. Right. Now I'm looking for father of something. That's the nickname this person that we will look at on the screen is given. So father of what? Okay. Here is number 7. The final question. Edward Hibbert Johnson hired a 24-year-old Thomas Edison at the Automatic Telegraph Company in 1871. But the whiz kid proved so brilliant that their roles reversed as Johnson eventually became Edison's employee at Edison Electric Company. However, what important contribution? Right, Cherian still going for it. Cherian.
He was the father of the light bulb.
Father of?
Light bulb.
Father of light bulb. Cherian, that's a -5. Abhishek on the buzzer. Abhishek, I need an answer. 3 seconds.
It's so he basically its name is Jonathan, right? So he started the consulting business as such. So it's a father of consulting or something.
All right, that's a -5. Abhishek passes to Tio.
I'll say I'll say electricity. Father of electricity.
Father of electricity. Right, that's a -5 to Tio as well. Right, there's Naveen on the buzzer, but Naveen, hold on. Hirak, do you want to try on the buzzer? Okay, Naveen, go for it.
He's the father of Christmas.
Father of
Christmas lights on the tree.
I'll complete the question since nobody else is on the buzzer. However, what important contribution of Johnson makes one remember him around Christmas celebrations, since it eliminated the cases of burns completely? Naveen says, father of Christmas lights. That is absolutely correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Good answer there, Naveen. You finished this quiz on a high, an important signal for the other finalists, national finalists, if they're watching. So well done there, Naveen. 3 people attempted before you, so 10, 8, 6, 4. Naveen gets 4 points. And with that, we end this quiz. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for playing. That brings us to the end of the Southern Region Zonal Final as well, which was the last of our 4 zonal finals. Congratulations to the qualifiers. Congratulations to the others who unfortunately couldn't qualify. But before we declare the official final results, I'd request Madam Kamakshi Raman, ED HRD SAIL and President National HRD Network Ranchi Chapter, to please come up on screen and please share some of her thoughts about this program. She's been a backbone of this event. Ma'am, please.
Thank you very much, Ajay. Very interesting quizzing, a lot of sweating and hard work till the last minute. And congratulations to all the 6 of you. All the 6 of you who got shortlisted for the Southern Zone out of the preliminary round, where we had more than 350 participants and from more than 50 corporate companies. So this is no small achievement. All the 6 of you deserve to be congratulated. And also congratulations to the zonal finalists, Mr. Naveen Kumar and Hirak Roy runners-up. So we will be seeing you on the 27th in the national finals. Let me give a brief of you. I'm sure all the quizzing enthusiasts would know about this Udaan. Udaan, this is the 10th year running. We started in a very small way in 2011 when we had just about 25, 26 teams, mostly from around Ranchi region and some of our SAIL units. And from 2011 till now, it has really grown in size, grown in terms of the participation level, the organizing level. Until last year, we used to have it at Ranchi in our MTI premises at Ranchi, SAIL MTI premises. And this is a big challenge we took up to do this Udaan, not to discontinue this, and to do this on a virtual mode. I'm very happy to share with all of you that the 2-day preliminary rounds on the 15th and the 16th, and the East and the West round on the 19th, and today North and South Zone round. All this, we have had very good participation, thanks to the entire National HRD, National Secretariat team, Ajay Purnia, the SAIL MTI team, who had really worked very hard to make sure that this virtual avatar of Udaan comes out well. So congratulations to all of you. And in addition to all the organizing efforts involved, The soul and energy of event like this is basically the enthusiasm that all the quizzes show in all these rounds. Thank you for being part of this and forever striving to be the excellent quiz participant. I'm sure you will all, the two of you, Mr. Naveen Kumar and Hirak Roy, would prepare yourselves to do well in the national round. And all the best to all of you. And congratulations to all the 6 of you. And the success of this entire thing goes to the National Secretariat of the HRD Network, which was behind this organizing event, and the SAIL MTI team, and to one of our avid quizzers, Srimat Malik, who is one of our faculty members in the SAIL Training Institute, who has really worked very hard to make sure that the show that you are seeing today is grown from its infancy to what it is today. Thank you again. Thank you very much, Ajay ji. Over to you. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request our chief guest, Shri Sudhish Venkatesh, Chief People Officer, Azim Premji Foundation, and also the Regional President of SouthZone for National HRD Network. Sir, we are pleased to have you here. And I saw that you've been witnessing this quiz for a while. You logged in pretty early. So I'm pretty grateful to you for being here for almost the entire length of this quiz. So it'd be really amazing if you could share a few pearls of wisdom to all our participants and audience members.
Right. Thanks, Ajay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Okay. All right. Thank you. No, it was my duty, in a sense, being responsible for the region to sort of watch this quiz and silently cheer the people. So it was remarkable to see the enthusiasm of everybody here and cracking the toughest questions, connecting the dots, and it makes you feel younger when you watch programs of this kind. So my congratulations to you, the Quizmaster Ajay, to Kamakshi and team for pulling this together. And of course to our National Secretariat, Dhananjay and his team. So, something like this is unimaginable without the teamwork that all of you guys have put in. I think what Ranchi has proved is that every adversity can be converted into an opportunity. In COVID, nobody imagined that we could even run a program like this, and Ranchi has proven that. And, they're very large chapters, but they say great things come in small packets. So probably Ranchi is an example of a small chapter that has done so well. I know that there were over 300 teams, participants in this quiz, and 53 or so were from the south. And the southern region, 53 has narrowed down to 6, and from 6, it's finally 2. That's Naveen and Hirak who will represent us. No pressure on you, Naveen and Hirak, but South is got a reputation of doing very well at all these quizzes, and so I'm sure you guys will hold the flag high, and I look forward to seeing you in the finals and winning it for us. Thank you. And once again, for those who made it to the finals, it's a remarkable achievement, like what Kamakshi said. So good luck to you guys as well. Back to you, Ajay.
Thank you so very much, sir. I'm sure Hirak and Naveen will both do well to keep the flag of South flying high. Well done to each one of you. Now time for us to declare the official results. Right, starting with the participants who unfortunately couldn't finish in the top 2, and thus that means they wouldn't qualify for the national final, and we won't get to see them as participants, of course, in the national final. But nevertheless, there are prizes for positions 3 to 6 in the zonal final as well. So the prize that each one of you win is a prize of ₹5,000 each. So congratulations. And the winners are Theo Thomas from Ernst & Young, Abhishek Kumar from Novartis, Cherian Verghese from IOC, and KM Prashant from NTPC. Well done to each one of you. Congratulations for qualifying for the SouthZone final, but unfortunately, this is where your journey ends. But let's have a huge round of applause for our qualifiers from the SouthZone in the national final. Starting with second place and winning 15,000 rupees is Hirak Roy from Kosoko with a score of 25, kept his nerve towards the very end. And of course, a much louder round of cheer for Naveen, who played exceedingly well, a familiar face in the Indian quizzing circuit. Naveen Kumar from Sai Mitra Constructions, winning a prize of 25,000 and also an opportunity to add to it as he perhaps tries to win the quiz in the national final. So congratulations to both of you, both Hirak as well as Naveen. I will see both of you again on the 27th of December. So Hirak, congratulations. You are judged as runner-up with sign by both our guests as well. And of course, Naveen from Sai Mitra Constructions. Congratulations to both of you, and thank yous and gratitude to our sponsors, each one of them. Thank you for making this possible. That's it from me. Thank you, everyone. I hope all of you had a good day, good evening of quizzing. Congratulations to the winners and also to the finalists. And thank you, each one of you joining us from the live stream. Thank you, Kamakshi ma'am. Thank you, Sudesh sir. And now I request Madam Nisha Kurup to please bring an end to this event.
Thank you indeed, Ajay. So as the SouthZone finals comes to a close, we have the 8 contenders for the big event coming up in less than a week from now. We look forward and urge all of you to stay tuned to all the action. See you all soon. Thank you indeed for joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great evening and a wonderful Christmas. Bye-bye. Which is where the last question came from, right? Naveen and his Christmas lights.